Unburdened. Welcome to Unburdened. I'm Rashani, and as always, I'm joined by Corbin and Gerald. Unburdened is a show where we talk about the struggles that we have with mental health, where we talk about the experiences that we have in our lives dealing with mental health, misogyny, things of that nature, and how we unpackage it, how we break it down, how we unburden ourselves of it. The general rules of the show are quite simply no misogyny, no homophobia, and no transphobia allowed. We are available on Twitter at UnburdenedPod. Gerald is available on Twitter at, do you want them to have the business page or the actual you?
We can throw them all out there because those are my two brands. At GWJONESII for me, and at Buy Black Podcast, BUY Black Podcast on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Corbin, you are available on Twitter where?
At State of Corbin, spelled just like it sounds. Also on Instagram, same thing. And on these internet streets, same thing. It's stateofcorbin.com.
Now, at this point in time, Unburdened is still a part of the single simulcast network in that it is folded in with the show's RSS feed. I am looking at ways to splinter it off into its own feed and whatnot. But at this point in time, you can find the show on iTunes and all the other places by searching under Single Simulcast. You can find it on Spotify by searching under Single Simulcast as well. Our voicemail number is 916-572-9016. Our email address is blackinunburdened@gmail.com. Gerald, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I just got done producing my latest episode and doing the show notes, which I hate, and so I got that done about 15 minutes before start time. So I'm good now.
Corbin?
I'm doing fairly well. Just tired, been very productive. Washed 2 cars, did all the laundry. And as soon as this is over, I gotta meet a client at his house for work because he can't do anything else the rest of the week. So, yeah, after that, I'm going to take a nap. I'm tired.
I am prepping for the end of season party for my 5th and 6th grade basketball team. I am making one thing that I came up with this season was to have the parents each write out what they appreciated about each player on the team. And I'm going to put those all, I'm going to make each kid a separate document with the list of things that the parents think about them. So then they can know at a young age, you know, that you are valued and that you are loved and that the parents appreciate you for more than just what you think they see. So our end of season party is at 4:00. So I'm trying to get all that put together now. I think
Wow.
I think that it's important that kids know at a young age that they are seen and that they are valued and that they are affirmed and that they don't have to, like when we were kids, that whole idea of kids are to be seen and not heard was still big in some parts. And so you grew up not knowing how your parents really felt about you unless you were in a place where your parents were telling you all the time how loved you were, which I wasn't, then you may not have had the opportunity to know not just how your parents felt, but how people who you see on a day-to-day basis, your teachers, the people at your church, your friends, you may not have had that opportunity to know this is how people feel about me at a young age. And I think that if we do that for these kids now, it might not change the way their trajectory because they're all good kids. Like all kids, in my opinion, all kids are good kids, but it might help their confidence to know this is what these parents who I didn't even know were really looking at me, here's what they see, here's what they think about me. Because it's all complimentary stuff. I wouldn't put it in there if they were like, something that was derogatory. But the parents genuinely appreciate and love each kid on this team, and I'm hoping that the kids seeing that in writing. I hope that it's something that they can put aside and hold on to for later on in their lives.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You think a lot deeper into the coaching thing than I did. Like I'm for real. Like I grew up, every coach I ever had coming up, it was just all about winning. Is really what it was, and winning and getting better at the sport. Now, I'm not saying that there was not development, but I feel like the development was around, let me help you be a harder worker. Let me help you to be a more precise executor. Let me help you to, and there was other, kind of man stuff in there, but it was all around the competitive components of being a man. Is what all of the coaching that I got from 5th grade all the way up through high school was centered around. So when I started coaching, like that was all I was concerned with is I'm going to teach you how to work hard. I'm going to teach you how to work smart. I'm going to teach you how to pay attention to detail, because that's all the coaching I ever got. And then when I joined the Marine Corps, the coaching that I got as a basketball player throughout my childhood prepared me to be a Marine. So I don't know if that tells you anything about the sports coaching I had.
It speaks volumes, yeah.
Yes. So I got to boot camp in the Marines, and it was just like, oh, is this all the yelling y'all are going to do? So I have to run? Okay. Push-ups. It was nothing, because I had spent my entire life with coaches who basically treated sports that way. Mm-hmm. And so I started out as a coach treating it that way, and found out very quickly, like, kids today, maybe kids always needed something different, but kids today expect something different because their parents expect something different. Mm-hmm. It's not cool to just be that drill instructor, drill sergeant coach anymore. Mm-hmm. Bobby Knight is gone.
One of the things that we talked about on the Dream Team just a few minutes ago, because I just finished recording that as well, was the power we give. Parents, the reason why kids were getting screamed at that age group, the reason why kids were getting screamed at when we were younger, is because parents allowed it. If a parent stood up and was like, yo, you ain't going to be talking to my son like that, and the kid was actually what the coach may have considered to be a talented member of his team,
yeah,
the coach would have changed immediately. But
because if you're not, the coach is going to be like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, okay,
bye.
And
just drop my stuff off, and I'll give it to another kid
who might have it all together. And,
right.
And it's like, you see, like you had back in the day, the worst thing that a coach would have is a parent who was an advocate for their kid. Like, this parent won't stop complaining about their kid's playing time, and this parent won't stop saying that I'm not treating their kid fairly and all that kind of stuff. And now it's like, that's just a good parent. You should be your kid's biggest fan, no matter what. You should be the one that is rooting for your kid even when nobody else is. And I'm not saying like you should have a jaded idea like your kid is the best player on the team or in the league or whatever it may be, but you should be the first one to say, look, I need you to be this for my kid, and I don't need him. I avoid being in abusive situations or putting my kid in situations he might find abusive. I need you to do the same thing, because you screaming at my kid when he's 6 and 7 and 8 will get you tossed up like real quick.
Yeah, I was that guy, like for real. Because and you know, so here's the worst thing. So I was worse with my son, right? I would coach his team, and I don't know what I'm hearing in the background.
Me neither. What is that, Corbin?
It's quiet here.
It's not okay.
There's something coming in, but So coaching my son's team, this was actually when I was out in Cali. So, I might have ended up coming to play some of y'all's teams if y'all ever played down in Roseville. But I would coach my son's team, and I was so hard. I was harder on him than everybody else
Mm-hmm.
because my thought is, he's mine. His parents are not going to complain, right? But then I was also hard on these other kids. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's thinking back now. I could have been a much better coach without traumatizing my son. And I also look back at what I experienced growing up as a kid, and I didn't see it as traumatization. But if you prepare me to be a Marine as a fifth grade kid, like there's some scars that are going there. Anyway, long and short is, coaching those kids, especially up in Yuba City. So you're familiar with Yuba City,
Yes, I
right,
am.
Rashani?
Mm-hmm.
So Yuba City has a very heavy Indian population.
Mm-hmm.
And like beyond just a heavy Indian population, they own most of that city and most of the orchards around that city. There's a lot of money in that town, and it is in the hands of the Indian community. What you find there is that if you don't adjust to that culture, that lifestyle real quick, you will find yourself not working.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to make an adjustment to that because I was coming at coaching from hey, I'm used to dealing with kids who are growing up who don't have, a whole bunch of support. And so they need the structure and they need the discipline and they need all this kind of stuff. I'm coming from interacting with kids like that to a place where these kids are playing because they want to. Their parents are giving them an outlet to go have fun. They don't need basketball. They don't need sports. And they're probably, no matter how good a athlete they are, they're probably not going to want to leave Yuba City when they graduate high school. I've seen great ball players decide not to go play basketball somewhere because they liked living in a city where they could be themselves,
Mm-hmm.
where they could experience their culture. So when I'm losing my mind because I see like a fifth grade kid, we're on the line about to run sprints and his shoe is untied. And I say, hey, before we run sprints, fix your shoe. Your shoe is untied. Kid looks down at his shoe and then he jogs over to the bench to his mom and he puts his foot up in his mom's lap. And she ties his shoe for him. I about lost my mind, and it took me months to realize like that's the culture. The little boys are princes, and the little girls are princesses. But especially the boys they don't have to do anything for themselves. The women in the family do everything for them. Their mothers do everything for them, and that's just like normal. And I I couldn't fathom it, but coaching in that area kind of taught me, well, one, if I want to coach, I'm going to have to cool down. And two, I really got to learn other people's culture and understand what's normal and what I needed to normalize in my life.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that you touched upon earlier that just struck a chord with me, because I haven't always been this great coach, you learn and you grow, as we spoke on before. When my daughter played basketball, I literally am the reason why my daughter will never play basketball again. Gogo is athletic. She's wonderful. She has a wonderful personality and all that good stuff that makes a great ball player. She could play it. I literally made her hate basketball. Because I had that mindset. Like, I have to be harder on my own kid because they are the coach's child. They are the example. People are going to look at them as an extension of me. And parents, we need to stop doing that. You need to stop saying that your kid is an extension of you, because they're not. Your kid is a human. Your kid is their own personality, their own being, their own whatever. And for you to say that they are an extension of you is selfish. But more than that, I would make her work as hard as everybody else, because I wanted people to know that my kids are always working hard. My kids are always putting in that third effort or whatever needs to be done. And she didn't want to do that. She just wanted to play basketball because she wanted to be around me. Like, It was a joint custody situation. She wanted to play basketball so she could have more time with her dad. And I was like, cool, you're here? Give me those rebounds. Jump, put your hands up. Why aren't you sliding your feet? Why aren't you doing this? And I did the same thing with my younger son, Kid Awesome. It was the same thing, like, yo, you need to do this and this and this. And then I finally was like, yo, I need to just step back and watch y'all play. Because y'all aren't coming up to me while I'm coaching like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? You need to be the best coach you can be because you're my dad and you represent me. And it really just dawned on me that I need to let my kids know that I have the utmost faith in them as ball players. It isn't me that makes them good. It's them that makes me look good. And no amount of screaming, shouting, or anything like that is going to change the dynamic that there is. But if I scream at them too much, they're going to stop working as hard on the court. They're going to tune me out. And then it's going to look like, yo, you're losing your team. So I was that drill sergeant at a point because my dad was, like I said, my whole family was military. So I learned that way. And I tried football, and I didn't like it because they were in my face screaming, so I quit. But when I became a coach, I was like, y'all need to do this. Y'all need, not with the like little kids, but once they hit a certain age group, it was like, boom, go time. We need to be doing this, that, and the third. And I had to really have my heart broken as a coach where kids were looking at me with tears in their eyes, and it's like, why are you yelling? And it was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know why I'm yelling, and I had to really let it go. And from that point on, I'm not that coach. I am here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the growth in you personally and physically. Mentally, I want y'all to be successful in every step you take. School, life, relationships. I'm going to teach y'all about character and integrity and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to teach you how to be a man. I'm not going to teach you how to do any of that because why? You are who you are, and I'm not going to push you in any direction. I'm just going to work on your insides. Like, I'm going to work on the mental. I'm going to work on the confidence. I'm going to work on the gracefulness. I'm going to work on the support system, because a lot of coaches aren't like that. They talk about how it's a family, but they don't really mean it. They just mean it in a way like you are. Here's how most coaches look at family. I'm your dad. You better respect what the hell I say.
I was thinking that was it the whole time. See, I never did coach my kids because I knew I'd be that way. And I didn't.
And it's like we watch all these successful coaches, and we're like, okay, they did it this way, we should do it this way. But 95% of the kids you're coaching will not even make their high school team, let alone their college team. Like 0.1% of the kids you're coaching will make their college team. And we're yelling at them like we are Bobby Knight, or like we are what's the dude's name from Alabama? I don't watch much.
Nick Saban.
Yeah, like Nick Saban. We're just getting on our kids like they're like our futures are tied to them. Where it's actually the opposite. Their futures are tied to the way that we're treating them. At least their emotional future. Like, I can't even play football. I don't even want to be around it. I didn't want to play baseball. I didn't want to be around it. And I loved playing baseball, but my dad would make me run the bases over and over again as punishment. And so running became a punishment for me. It stated that having kids do exercise as punishment will make them not want to exercise because they view it as a punishment. So these are all things that we didn't think about when we were growing up because it was just something that they did, and we were just like okay with it because our parents were okay with it. But parents, y'all got to be better. We got to be better when it comes to our kids and saying, yo, my kid's not going to put up with this, and I'm not going to put up with this, and I'm going to stand up for my kid because my kid is scared to stand up to you. You will have so much more of a relationship with your kids if you do it like that, period.
So what do y'all think about, all right, so the other side of this, and it's not a devil's advocate, it's a real life because it's something that I experienced, right? What do you think about the other side where you are in a location and you are coaching kids who they literally feed sports as an opportunity to escape. They are literally in a situation where you have to make sure that they come to every single practice, because if they aren't at practice, they are in danger of falling into a different crowd, right? You have to help them get the discipline, because if they don't get it at practice, they're not getting it anywhere. And how do you see a difference in the way that you coach kids in that situation versus kids who are just like middle class, affluent, playing sports to have fun? Maybe some of them are more talented than others, but most of them are really not going to make it past high school.
I have kids who are at different levels, and I have kids who are at different mindsets, and it's not about their economic level or where they're at. I have coached kids who are in situations like that, where it's like, this is my only goal, coach. This is my only mindset, coach. And to them, I say two things. Then you need to practice more. One, like, you need to practice more than just with me. More than an hour or 2 hours we have a day. You have to really get out there and get after this. If this is what you want to do with your life, you have to hone your talent at a very young age. It's not like with every other career where you could start the career at the age of like 28, 29, 30, decide you don't like that job, jump to another job, and then, oh, this is my niche right here. I should have been a writer the whole time and write great books to the age of 50. You have between 18 and maybe 33 to get as much money as you can get. So that means that you have between the ages of 11 and 17 to show people what you can do. That is totally unfair. It is totally unfair for some of the kids who don't get a growth spurt until they're like 22, but yet that's the way it is. I tell them that they need to, practice a lot. Like Steph Curry levels, maybe not, but get out there and shoot. Get out there and dribble. Get out there, and when you're playing on the playground, because a lot of these kids will talk about that they want to play in the NBA or whatever, but as soon as they get out to the playground and start playing with their friends, they lose all their fundamentals. They lose everything. They start throwing up horrible shots and all that. And I'm like, yo, wherever you're at, you need to play like you're trying to improve. And then the other thing I tell them about is options. Like, there are opportunities outside of basketball. Like, you have more than that, and you don't have to focus on this. Let's talk about getting you basketball into college. Let's talk about this as being your escape to college, and then let's talk about other plans, because this may not be your absolute future. And then what? But I have kids who are just like, I can't afford to do anything else. I can't go to trainings. I can't go to the sessions with all the other teammates. What can I do, coach? And I'm like, read a book. Read a book. So, there's that sound again. So then when you are done with basketball, you have something else to fall back on, because all it takes is that one injury. And there's been a ton of players who had nothing else but basketball, nothing else but football. It's usually not baseball. It's usually basketball and football. But they had nothing else, and then they get injured and everything falls apart. And you're just like, man, that kid could have been something great. But as soon as basketball fell apart, he didn't have anything else. Because here's the thing that they never tell you. Your teachers don't care about you.
For the most part, I agree with that.
Like,
My
you may
folks
have
told
one
me
or
that.
two. You may have one or two teachers who are just like there for you. But when they have like 8 classes of 30 kids coming in because they're a high school teacher or a middle school teacher, they're not really going to have the time to say, hey, buddy, let's me and you bond and grow. This ain't Dangerous Minds. Most teachers, you're a number. You're a grade point. And so, I don't know. The kids who are inner city, the kids who are less fortunate, the kids who are playing basketball or football as an outlet because there's nothing else, the kids who feel like they need to provide for their families, that is the worst kind of pressure. Than the kid who you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say, a ninja. Or some other fanciful thing, and it changes like every year because they have options. The beauty of options. I feel bad for the kids who don't. They don't see anybody else. They don't see lawyers that they can trust. They don't see police officers that they can trust. They don't see firemen in their area at all because they don't come there. They see basketball. And they see sports.
Corbin?
I've just been listening because when I coached, I didn't coach my kids because I figured I'd be too hard. I was always the extra practice person. We had a basketball goal in our backyard. We had a 20 by 20 court. And, when we just didn't have time to do stuff, we would shoot. Or if we were bored, we would shoot. Or if we were tired, we would shoot. So, just to kill time, really. And so my kids weren't like that. My kids are more artistic, and especially my boys, they're more artistic than athletic. My girls are athletic. And that was hard for me to deal with in the beginning. But it's cool now. But it was just something I didn't expect. But I never wanted to coach my kids because I never wanted to be that dad that, had Mike screaming at my kid, having him doing push-ups, extra push-ups, running laps, and things like that. I just wanted to be part of a team. And I was hard on the team I coached, but I wasn't extra hard on a particular person.
And you know what? This actually is an interesting yet good segue into something that I want to talk with y'all about. We all coached in certain styles. Usually bad, let's be honest, but that style was bad. But we coached that way because other people coached that way, and we wanted to keep up. And we didn't want to look like we were deviating because we wanted other parents to want to come to us. We wanted the kids to come to us. We wanted to keep getting better. We lost sight of what it was that was actually important to us. Let's talk technology.
Yeah, my
Okay.
tech is failing me.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you're going to buy something else. The phrase keeping up with the Joneses. I don't know why this was such a big thing to us, but I was talking with my son about it, and he mentioned that he had saw a phone, and that he wanted the phone, but that he knew his phone still worked, but that, phone, and that all his friends had phone, and so he needed to have phone to keep up with phone, and it was like, we're like that.
Yep.
Have so many things that I have purchased that I don't use enough to actually quantify the purchase just because I want to be able to say I was the first person to have it. Is it?
I don't do the first person thing, but I am going through something very similar with my wife right now, where she has a Galaxy S8 Plus. Mm-hmm. It's a Samsung phone. She's had it for like a year and a half, which we normally keep phones 2 to 3 years. And then we get another one, nothing wrong with them. I got a drawer full of phones. But all her teacher friends have iPhones. And so she has the green bubble envy now, and now she wants to switch to a iPhone SX Max or something like that. And I'm like, why? Well, I'm missing out on photos in our group chats, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay, whatever. But I mean, I do it myself, but I feel like my reasons are far better than hers.
You do?
It's not.
What are your
Yes.
reasons? Please. What are your reasons?
Yes. Okay, my reasons are I have a plan going into the purchase of said phone. So I have a Samsung Galaxy S8. I am a Android person. I've never liked an Apple, period. So my plan is in 2 years, I'm going to buy the S10 or the Galaxy Note 10. That's my plan. So going into this, my phone works just fine. Not getting rid of my phone. May use it later for other things. But when said phone comes out, I had the Note 5 when I said I was going to get the Galaxy S8 when it came out. So, those type of iterations, I've always just said, okay, it's been 2 years. This is the phone I want. This is what I've been waiting on. I'm going to buy that. So that's my plan. That was my reasons are for that plan. Her reasons are I'm a green bubble and I don't want to be. And me and my son don't really agree with her. We call her a traitor. But the girls, my daughters have iPhones. It's just me and my son that we're Android people and we feel like we being betrayed.
Gerald?
I don't care about phones. That's not the kind of tech that I have to keep up with. So I worked at AT&T for a few years, like over a decade ago, and so I've still got the same plan that I had back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped buying phones when they stopped being free with a 2-year contract. And I saw the evolution of that coming, where companies could no longer justify the expenditure of giving away a 500, 600, 700 piece of equipment with a new plan, because everybody already had a cell phone. So you're not actually getting new money coming in from activations, which means that your revenue is going down, which means that you can't afford to give people phones. So I saw that stuff coming. But as soon as it actually went away, and now it's like, oh, you want a new phone? Well, we can put that into your plan and you can pay us $40 extra a month every month until you get a new phone. Or you can pay us $800 up front. But either way, you're paying for this phone. I was like, I'm not buying a new phone. So I have not bought a new phone probably in almost 10 years. And I just keep them until a screen breaks or something goes wrong with it and it's time for an insurance claim. And I just do an insurance claim. And usually the phone I get is maybe a year or two old, which is, brand new to me, 3, 4, 5 years newer than the one I've got. And yeah, I go with it until it gets broken again. So that's probably been 3 iterations now that we've done that between my phone and my wife's phone.
But there's technology that we're avoiding. Like, we're like, not phones, not me, not with phones. With me, It's not with phones. With me, it's video games. Video games, I think I will say that. Like,
it's not games with me. I haven't bought a new game in a year.
keep patting yourself on the back, because we're going to drill down to something that's you. For me...
Yeah, because I buy one game...
You've already hit me.
And it's whatever the Call of Duty is, and I'll get that game, and I'll play it for like 2 weeks, and then it just sits for the rest of the year until the new Call of Duty comes out.
And for me, I have what they call a fear of missing out on certain things. Like...
FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO. Like, if there is something that my friends are saying, oh, this is the best thing, this is wonderful, this part was amazing, this part was awesome, I need it. I need to go see that. I need to experience that. I need to play it. I need to get my fingers on that. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then I play it and I'm like, I don't like this game. I don't like this genre. I don't like this idea. I don't like these controls. Why am I here? And it's like, next thing comes out. Oh my God, Fortnite is the best thing. You need to play it. You need to get your hands on it. Oh my God. And I'm like, I need to play that. I need to try it. I need to love it. And I've played Fortnite maybe 3 times. Luckily, it's free, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And it's like, I keep on putting myself in situations. Fonte said it best. He was like, you're at the club buying bottles you can't pronounce of drinks that you don't even like, because you're around people who expect you to carry that sort of stature. I am constantly finding myself talking about things that I don't like, bigging up people that I don't know, discussing music that I haven't heard, just so that I can feel like I am a part of something, just so that I can feel like I am in the inner circle. And there's a ton of things that I may grow to love. I may grow to enjoy it. I may grow to appreciate it. But right now, I don't like this. And why am I spending money on something that I don't like? Because the next person has it. And I need to be able to talk about it if somebody asks me, so then they will continue to respect and value my opinion on something that I don't even like, when the answer should be, I don't like it. Don't go mess with that.
Yeah. So I don't think I can relate to that one much because
Lead,
don't
follow, and then there's Gerald.
I'm not a people person. Like if people like it, then I'm like, oh, I probably
Yeah, I
won't like
probably
it.
won't. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me. I don't like that. I'm
And
not a follower.
but then when I find something that I like that people like, then I'm stuck on it forever. So great example, right? I had never, ever, ever listened to Kendrick Lamar. Never had. Not because, oh, he's bad, anything. It was just like the only things I listened to when it came to music was 90s music, whether it was alt rock or hip hop or R&B. I was that dude who was just like, that was my generation. And so that was the best music and all this stuff is crap. So last year, Damn comes out and the Humble video, and obviously as soon as that video is released, everybody's timelines are going crazy. I watched the video and I'm like, this dude, this little high pitched voice, like he's just like all the rest of these, right? And I shook it off and I ignored it. And then I think maybe it was a month later that I went back and actually listened to him rap and then looked for some of his other content. And then suddenly I was like, oh my God, the best thing ever. And I probably, my wife could tell you, I probably listen to Damn at least 8 times a week. Like when I don't have anything else on, I just turn that album on. I will listen to it over and over and over again. That one or Good Kid, Mad City. And it's like, I don't care that was his old stuff or this has already been out or there's new stuff out. When I find something that touches me, I will listen to that over and 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 over again. And I don't care. I don't care what anybody else is listening to because it hits the emotion in me that I need to connect with. And so therefore that is now my new favorite and it will be until something else comes along.
I understand. I have
now it's at every single morning.
I have a playlist. I have a couple playlists on Spotify that I listen to. I don't listen to anything else. I might add something to that playlist so then I can see if it fits the vibe of the rest of the playlist. But if it doesn't fit the rest of it, I'll delete it. And so,
how many songs is on that? I'm just curious. Got to be over 100.
At this point in time, hold on one second. I can honestly tell you. On one playlist, I have, on my work grooves playlist, I have 1,153 songs. On the best of my other playlists, I have 120 songs because I really tried to grind that one down. On my playlist for riding, which is great music to hear in a car, like bass or something like that, whatever it may be, I have 325 songs. And then on my Rap's favorite playlist, I have 667 songs.
See, I have 450 playlists with about 12 songs apiece.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to switch
I
playlists.
narrow it down, man. Rainy Tuesday is a playlist. I play it on Tuesdays when it's raining.
Wow.
That kind of thing. Yeah, I couldn't do 700 songs in a playlist. It's like, how am I supposed to enjoy this? Because I'm going to hear stuff. Because I'm a random guy. I don't know about you, but I will shuffle the crap out of that. So my little 12 songs will shuffle, and I'm good. I'm surprised. It's a different order every time. But, yeah, 770 songs, I wouldn't hear what if I really want to hear one song?
Well, then you find that one song, and then you select shuffle after you listen to it.
You hit shuffle and let the random chips fall where they may, but you only got 12 songs, so you're going to hear it in an hour.
See, you don't want to deal with my single simulcast playlist, because that was the one of every song from single simulcast ever. But my mindset is my work grooves playlist is a playlist that I can listen to with no earphones and not have to worry about somebody being offended. Somebody walking by hearing something they can't hear. So on my work grooves playlist, there's R&B, there's rock, there's gospel, there's classical music, and there's jazz. My playlist, my best from other playlist is like stuff that I need, like stuff that I need when I'm in a hole. So each of them are set to help me out. But I know me personally with my depression, there's times that I'm going to hit play and not have the energy to hit stop. So when those 12 songs are over, what am I going to have next but a radio full of songs that I don't want to hear, but I don't have the energy to get up and change that. I'm just going to sit there and soak it in. And I need music that's going to touch me no matter what, like Gerald said. I need my music to affect me because music is such a huge part of my life. There's a reason why my team's name is the Sharpshooters. It's not because of the way that they shoot. It's because I want them to play like a symphony. I want it to be the S in Sharpshooters is like the S on a musical note. It is like a symbol, and I need them to be in tune when they do something. Music is every part of me. Music can pick me up and drop me down so quickly. And every time that I listen to something, I hear something new, and sometimes I don't want to hear that again, so I will bury it under 1,000 other songs so I don't have to experience that again until I need it.
See, like me, this morning I had 3 different playlists. So I get up at 4:30 every day.
Okay, so first of all, that's dumb.
Yeah, why?
I'm very, very much more productive now. I've been doing it for like a week and a half.
A week.
It's a book I'm reading.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you're dumb. I'm saying the fact 4:30 in the morning.
My dad said the same.
That's dumb.
So I did more, but between 4:30 and 6:30. My Google Home Minis. It plays a playlist for me in the morning. Which was gospel because it's Sunday. That's a playlist. I had my green tea. I had my toast, and then I started doing laundry. So I had my laundry playlist.
Are you serious?
Which is mostly yes. I just switched to laundry. It's Sade. It's like early '80s type stuff with Jody Watley, Howard Hewitt, stuff like that. So when I got done with laundry, I go outside and I have it play my car wash playlist, which is car wash, a bunch of blues music, nothing real new. It's a bunch of old stuff, some Miles Davis on there. When I got done washing the cars, I just turned it off. So it was about 45 minutes before we started. But when I get done here, I'll probably listen to some jazz because I have a jazz playlist when I'm going to this guy who's really anal. And I'm trying to get myself in a calmer mood. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, I will swap the playlists like quick. And my wife is a lot like you, Rashani, in that she has one playlist that is like 2 million songs, and I just can't do it because some days I'm a Hall & Oates guy, and some days I'm a OJ's guy. What if I want to listen to NWA? I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I feel like this is actually a pretty interesting look into the minds of just folks who feel like too much is clutter and folks who feel like not enough isn't good enough. And I feel like I need to have all the music. Like, I don't just want 12 slices of music. I want all the music in my ears all the time, and I don't want to know what's coming next. Like, I want to know. Like, I want to be able to have this set aside. Like, okay, I know that this is set in stone, that this is going to be on this playlist, but I don't want to know, okay, I've heard 11 songs and this song hasn't played yet, so this song's going to play next. I don't want that safety net. I want to...
I feel like we got the same amount of songs, though.
I feel like I want to see your playlist. That's what I feel like.
Oh, I can send you some of the names. We cannot repeat it on this podcast, but, I can...
It's kind of crazy to me that the whole idea of having playlists just doesn't mesh with my brain, because I'm like, I want to hear an artist. Like, if I'm going to listen to Kendrick, I'm going to listen to his entire album. If I'm going to listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm going to listen to an entire album. I don't want to listen to this artist and then that artist and then this song and that song. My brain doesn't function in songs. My brain functions in stories. Mm-hmm. Like, I need an album that's going to take me from beginning to end and walk me through a story, because that's what I connect with. Like, I can't really do playlists. I used to, obviously, when I was younger, but that was just because I needed music that would bump in the car. But now that when I listen to music, I'm listening, a song doesn't do anything for me, but an album does. And so just the fact that y'all even have playlists, I'm like, that doesn't, I don't connect with that at all. I just go on Amazon Music, and if I want to listen to, let's say, like yesterday, I wanted to listen to Maroon 5. I went and I found the It Won't Be Soon Before Long album,
Such
and
a
I just
great
started
album.
listening from the beginning. And that's kind of how I function. So I've always got all the music I need. It's just who do I want to listen to today? Not what songs, but who do I need to hear from? And then I'll find that artist and I will just follow their story, whatever story it is they're telling me right now.
See, and the thing is, if I want to hear an artist, I want to hear their whole discography. like
Wow.
Well, I can
I
do
treat
that.
it
I
like
can do the album thing.
I treat it
But
like it's a
like,
buffet. Like if I go to Kendrick because I adore Kendrick, if I go to Kendrick, I am simply taking every album that Kendrick's ever made and putting it into a playlist. And I might listen to them in order initially. That's what I did with Helter Skelter. I listened to every album they had in order. Like I got all the way through, so I heard their stories and everything. And then after that, shuffle.
Mm.
And then I started drilling down. Which songs are filler? Which songs don't I need? And I started cutting them out. And that's how they ended up in a playlist that's a part of another playlist. Because then when I found the songs that I was able to actually listen to all the time from Helter Skelter, which is really difficult, let's be honest, for me, because Helter Skelter has a lot of filler music, in my opinion. That's just me. But I was able to put that into my playlist for writing. And now it's a part of a larger playlist of music that I know I'm going to love. One thing that one of my friends did that I tried to do and still have not completed yet was he made a playlist called the Stranded playlist. And it was if you are stranded on a desert island and you are stuck there for a year and you have a playlist with 100 songs on it, what are those 100 songs going to be? You know you're going on an island for a year with nobody else there with you. What 100 songs did you have? And I can't get it below 116 to save my life. There's so much music in my world that just changes me and lifts me and just helps me focus, helps me breathe, helps me just function. I can't boil it down. So when y'all are talking about just 12 songs on a playlist or I just want to listen to this album, I love y'all.
I feel like I could do both though, because I do like Prince for me. That's the be all end all. So
Discography.
if I want to listen to Around the World in a Day, I just will listen to the album Around the World in a Day. But if I want to listen to the Prince songs that I love from 1980 to 1987, there's a playlist for that.
I knew there was. I knew you were going to say that.
Yes, I don't like the way Love Sexy's one rambling song for 44 minutes. I have all the tracks. So I have a playlist that I take two of them out. I have unreleased Prince music as a playlist. I got bootlegs as a playlist. Different things like that. So, but if I did want to listen to Diamonds and Pearls, I would just listen to the album. But I think I'm so gone in like his music that I listen to my playlists a lot more than I do the albums.
So this is completely off track from our technology addictions.
Right.
Now we're into our music addiction.
Right. But it's still interesting to see how much we lean upon music to get us through whatever situation we're in. Like Corbin, I don't know if you heard this when you were saying it, but you literally have a security blanket for every situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's music. I'm a lot like you when it comes to the music. It'll uplift me. It'll calm me down. It'll get me hyped. It'll, click. I can't do anything in this house without music. You can ask the kids, ask my wife. If I'm cooking, I'm playing music. If I'm cleaning, I'm playing music. If I'm folding clothes, I'm playing music. If I'm washing cars, I'm playing music. I'm playing music. So, if I'm cutting grass, I got music or a podcast in my headphones. So, I mean, music is a very big part of my life.
And Gerald, for you, it's like I think that for what I've noticed is that you are a man of order. And for you, the music has to be ordered. It has to be like, it has to take you somewhere, or else why are we making this trip? Why are we taking this journey? I want to see the journey from start to finish. I don't want to veer off. I don't want any detours. So that actually tells me more about you as a person.
Yeah, that is how I function. My favorite album is one that people would probably think is kind of quirky, but the Idlewild soundtrack. It's my favorite album because I love that movie and I can watch that movie every time I hear the album, right? Without watching the movie, but it walks me through, and I love Outkast, and I love just the raw emotion of the soundtrack that went with that really powerful movie. It's one of the favorite things that I have to listen to. But that's how my world is with everything. Like what you just said about why are we going on this journey? I was just talking yesterday about why I don't lift weights and why I don't run. Because I don't see any point in running just to end up where I started. If it's like, oh, well, it's healthy. And it says, yeah, but I'm going to get tired and I'm going to make my muscles hurt to run somewhere that I'm just going to end up back where I started. How about this? I'll just stay here. Mission accomplished. Right? but then I can turn around and I'll go to the gym and I'll play basketball for 4 hours because I know the purpose of this running. I want to put the ball into the hoop. Mm-hmm. Or I will go to the golf course and I will walk. I prefer to walk when I play golf, and I prefer to play by myself, even though I'm going to end up where I started. At every step along the path, I have a goal. Get the ball into the little hole, right? And that's how my life is. If there's not a reason for me to do something, if you're telling me the reason I'm doing this is so that I can end up where I started again, then I'm not going to do it. You're not going to convince me to do that because I'm like, well, I can save that energy. We're already here. Let's just stay here. And let me do something else that's actually going to make a difference. So, yeah, it's the same thing with music. A song doesn't get me somewhere. I want to walk through a story. I want to be somewhere else at the end of this process, and jumping around to different things doesn't – I can't. I'll just turn it off.
I feel you. I mean – it's like, boy.
So real quick, because I never got to talk about my tech thing, because y'all had your tech thing. So my technology addiction is not what other people are doing. My technology addiction is things that make my life easier, or things that make me capable of doing things other people can't. I'm always looking to solve a problem. I'm always looking to create a new capability. So like the tech that I have to buy is like when I found out this Cam Link thing exists. It's literally just a USB, connector that turns your webcam turns a camcorder or an actual video camera into a webcam. So I can basically just directly connect my, HD camcorder to my computer to be able to use as a webcam. So I have higher quality video. And now I have 2 cameras. Like, that little piece of tech cost me $100. I will spend money on it all day long. Or something that gives me more USB 3.0 ports. Or like the back end tech, that's the stuff that I can't resist. Anything that makes my existing technology function in a way that other people's tech doesn't function, and I can do stuff other people can't do, and it makes me look like a wizard. That's the kind of tech that I can't stop myself from buying. I don't really care about the front end stuff, like the video games or the consoles or the phones or anything like that. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. But something that is going to help me solve a problem that I've been trying to solve, or give me a capability that other people don't have, I have to buy it. I have to buy it, and I have to install it, and now I have to start using it. That's the stuff that excites me.
Corbin?
No, that's really it. I just feel like I'm a cross between both of you, because I understood fully what he's talking about, but I understand fully what you mean, because like when Fortnite came out, I was all on it for 13 minutes. And then I was like, this is trash. And then I've never picked it up again. That's it. But my thing is mostly the home automation right now. with the lights. I have 6 Google Home Minis. I'm about to get a Google Hub. I got several different things that make my day to day easier. And my parents come over. Of course, they're old school. I have my Nest thermostat set, and my lights come on at certain times. They turn down. Everything's voice activated here. And my dad just never gets it, but I don't have to move. I can continue doing what I'm doing and just speak into the air, and whatever I need to happen, happens. And so it makes my day easier.
I just feel like each of us are tethered to this idea of what's going to make things easier for us, when really we are saddling ourselves with more and more things that we have to be tethered to. And I'm okay with that, because I am in love with being a captive of that. Like, I'm in love with the feeling. I'm in love with the cocoa. You know what I'm saying? But there are certain things that at some point we are going to have to figure out a way to get more time away from it. Like me and video games. Like, when I spend less time with it, I feel better. When I spend less time with it and do something else, like read books, which I also adore doing, I feel great. So when it all comes down to it, even though we love the technology we're using, we may need to figure out a way to break away from it for a while, just so then we can make ourselves stronger. I'm not even trying to say this so then I can figure out a way to say I'm burdened. I'm just saying, like, maybe it's not a good thing for us to be so connected to technology as we talk on Skype and record for people on the internet. But I don't know.
The way I see it is everything is a tool. If your tech is your world, then there's a problem. And if your world revolves around showing people that you have the latest tech, also a problem. But if you get the tech and you use it as a tool to augment your capability or augment your reality, I think that it's very valuable. And that's the balance that's really hard to strike, right? Mm-hmm. Because I know I've spent, it's Sunday afternoon, I've been in my office basically since Friday afternoon. Whether it's producing a podcast or doing show notes or doing this podcast or, whatever, or eating and watching Hulu in between doing all that kind of stuff. I've basically given away this entire weekend that I haven't spent with my kids and my wife because I'm trying to use tech to produce something for other people. Like, that's unhealthy, right? It's finding, like Corbin said, finding the tech that decreases the amount of time that you have to spend using it so that you can get back to real life. Like, that's the value. That's where we need to place the value. What solves my problem and gets me back into the real world quickly, as opposed to what can I get so that I'm on the same page with everybody else with their tech. That's the struggle. That's my struggle.
I think that's everybody's struggle. It's just that some of us aren't so vocal about saying that that's what our struggle is. But once we take those steps to free ourselves of the bondage of technology and step back out into that real world, that's how you get unburdened. The sunshine always comes.
That is excellent.
The sunshine always comes. It may not be there when you need it, but it always shows up, and I'm always grateful. Gerald, again, tell them where they can find you at on Twitter and on the Facebook.
Absolutely. So everybody, I am GWJONESII everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And of course you can find me, Buy Black Podcast, the voice of black business, at Buy Black Podcast on all 3 of those platforms, or you can find me at buyblackpodcast.com. everything is by Black Podcaster, GW Jones II. It's simple.
Corbin?
Oh, you can find me at State of Corbin on Twitter, and same thing on these internets, stateofcorbin.com, or just wherever Unburdened is. I'm starting to lurk now, so I'm more active in the Facebook page and things like that now. Now that I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing, I'm not like sitting out here like, oh my God, are these people going to think I'm crazy? Now I just say what I feel, and we're done. So,
Well, yeah, we're literally a show about saying what you feel so then you can get it off your chest, and you're like...
Well, that doesn't make you nervous or not nervous about it.
I'm just
sometimes.
I feel you. I'm just saying. At the same time, I feel you, though. I do. And I'm Rashani, and hopefully next week will be a better week than last week. Depression's killing right now. It's really right now. Like, people are. The funny thing about depression, real quick, is that people think that you can't have a good day while you're depressed. Like, it's all or nothing. Like, you have to be like hiding under your bed while you're depressed, or else you're faking it. And it's not like that. Like, I can have great days and still be depressed. Like, right now, the feeling that I have is no feeling. Like, I can smile and laugh, and when it's all said and done and this show gets turned off, that switch will flip right back off, and I will feel empty again, and I have to find things to fill it up, and that's what my depression is right now. So I'm saying all that to say, if you have a mental health, if you're living with any mental illness, don't feel bad that people are judging what you should be like based on what they believe you should be like, because that's not their life. And you're not obligated to educate them. You're not obligated to tell them something that's going to expend more of your energy to help them get to somewhere that they can get to on their own without you. Don't feel bad for it. There's so many of us who are feeling bad for not being the type of person that other people expect you to be when you are going through a situation. And I just want to let you know that I see you, and I think you're perfect. I think you're okay, and I'm sorry that you're struggling. I will struggle right there with you, but I'm not going to tell you to cheer up. I'm not going to tell you to walk it off. I'm not going to tell you to just try Jesus. I'm not going to tell you any of that, because I've been through all of those explanations or all of those suggestions, and none of them make you feel better. In fact, some of them make you feel worse. But if you need us, we're there. You can always hit us up on, you can always call the line. We use pseudonyms if you want to be on the show. We don't have to use your real name. We use pseudonyms if you send us an email. We don't have to use your real name. Just unburden yourself with the things that you're struggling with right now, because that's what we're doing, and that's what we want each of you to do. Thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate you, and we hope that you will be back with us next week for another episode. Again, for Gerald and Corbin, I'm Derek. And on every other show, I use my pseudonym. I'm Rashani, but I'm Derek. And I want y'all to love every moment as we love every moment with you. We'll talk to you later. Y'all be good. Peace. You can follow the show at Unburdened Pod on Twitter. Voicemail is 916-572-9016. Email is blackinunburdened@gmail.com.